Hey guys, this is Gold Plated Cheese here, and I'm going to be making a lighting video today. And so I'll basically be going over like how all the lighting is controlled, how it all works. I guess I'll talk a bit about the lights behind the screen and everything, because I know a few people have been asking about those. So without further ado, let's get started. So here's the first switch, as you can see, and there's on, off, A, B, C, and D. So the on-off buttons are basically to control these six main lights. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These six main lights in this area here. So by holding, this applies to all the switches in the room, but by holding it down, like, it'll dim them slowly. Or also if I hold on, it'll slowly bring them back up. Or I could just double tap it and it instantly goes off, or pops back on. That applies to everything. Right here you can see this one says scene A, so that's actually to control all the lights in the room. So if I hold this down, you should see every light in the room start to dim, and you can't really see that too much on camera, but yeah. Sorry, my finger just missed the switch there. Pressed the wrong button. Yeah, so all the lights are dimmed, and double tap turns everything off. Double tap brings it all back on. B, this is actually for the lighting behind the screen, so for now I'll just turn off all the lights and I'll turn those on. So these are all the lights behind the screen. I'm short one light. See beside, gotta go a bit further back. Beside the right speaker, the front right speaker, there's actually a big gap, but there's no light. There's another 18, that's where one of the 18-inch subs is, like identical to that one. There's another one right there. I'm just short one light. So turn these lights back on, turn those off. Right now the C and D buttons don't do anything, but in the future I can always set the scene for those buttons. Moving on here, so further along, so these switches are like individual kind of regular looking switches. This little LED indicator kind of looks like a double ghosting kind of thing there, but it indicates like how much it indicates how much the light's currently dimmed. Right now you can see it's kind of close to the top, a bit more than halfway. And this light actually controls the lights above the screen. So full brightness, and actually, sorry, that never went to full brightness. There's full brightness. And they're slowly going all the way off. So that's that switch. This other one here, this is like the lights on the floor beside the screen. Dim those lights. Slowly going off. And some of you guys might be thinking, oh, these delays are kind of slow and everything, like how long it takes to dim. I can actually set those delays in my computer for every light in this room, so I'll touch on that a bit later. But right here again, on, off, these are for all four wall sconces in the room. I can hold it, or I can just double tap, slowly dim it on here. And yep. So, okay, so now A and B. C and D again don't do anything at the moment. But moving on to A and B. A actually controls, first I'll talk a bit about this. So moving on here to the second level, there's this vent in my wall. And at the bottom right here, like underneath, there's two fans in there, one on each side. And they actually like pull the hot air out of the room when you're watching a movie. And this vent down here, there's no fans or anything, but it brings in cool air from the ground. The system works pretty good, but sometimes I have a portable air conditioner that I still have to bring in. But it's better than nothing. So I'll press A and see if you guys can hear the fans turning on. Not sure how well this will work, but whatever. Alright, so those were the fans. Turn those off. And the B switch right here, this B switch is actually for here, actually I'll turn that on first. It's kind of loud. I never really use it. I use it sometimes, I guess, after watching a lot of movies, just because I'm kind of paranoid that I might overheat or something. But at the top here, there's it's behind that even higher up. But there's 4 fans in the top there, and the way these things are all controlled, even the lights behind the screen, is the outlets in the walls. Not these outlets in the room, but just like basic electrical outlets. The ones behind the screen and the ones for all this equipment are actually wireless. So just turn that off. They're wireless, so they can all be controlled. Like these switches are all also wireless, so everything is talking to each other. So they know if like this switch would know if this other switch is on, like vice versa, also like that. Not like, I know some remote controls, universal remote controls and stuff, they don't really know if the device is already on or off. These always know. And yeah, back to the lighting. Moving on here, there's one switch here, one switch there, and another switch at the back. So these are for the 3 rows of seating, so 3rd row, 2nd row, and 1st row. And they're actually positioned like parallel to the row right here. So by holding this down, you can dim the lights above the 1st row, and double tapping on and off again. Coming up here to the 2nd row, same idea here. Just turn those off really quick and bring them back on. And the 3rd row is the same as the other ones. Once again, we have the switch and tap once and it'll go down. And the main reason for having all 3 rows of seating on different switches is because, like, a lot of the times, like if you're eating a snack or something, or you're just eating or having a drink or something in general, you can actually, like, if someone's sitting in the front row, you can turn on these lights above them really dim so it doesn't ruin the whole picture, instead of turning on like a whole bunch of lights for all these other people in the back. It works out really good if you're in like the 2nd or 3rd rows, especially the 3rd row. Doesn't affect the picture at all. And as you can imagine, the closer you get with the light, the worse the picture gets. Before moving on, I kind of quickly want to talk about these step lights. Actually, they're on both sides. So these lights here, they're LED. It's actually an LED tape light that I just tacked on underneath. And when the lights are low, I'll attempt to dim everything so you guys can get a better idea here. When the lights are low, it looks really good. Even in the back here, it gives off a nice glow. I don't know if you can kind of tell. It looks a lot better in person though. Yeah, it gives off a nice glow. And even these, they actually have a remote control, which is unfortunately not wireless, but like all the rest of the lighting in the room. Let me just turn on the lights. Sorry about that. Like the rest of the lighting in the room, it'll all eventually be controlled from that iPad right there. But for now, like this remote control, you can change the colors, you can make them strobe, slowly switch between different colors, the intensity of the light. I always leave them on red because red seems to affect the picture the least out of all the colors. And yeah, sometimes I leave it on as I'm watching. It kind of helps, I guess, kind of just a cool little touch. So that's that, and finally, I want to just go on to talk about this remote control. So this is actually a remote control for the lighting right now, and as you can see, it says scene A, B, C, D, E, and F, as well as down here, dim, bright, all on, all off. So by pressing, like, these are the top 3 are actually presets, actually the first 2. So if I press up here, this will actually take me directly to my preset that I have set. And once again, I set this through my laptop. So this is kind of like a preview setting, like if you just want to show someone in the room the first time here or whatever. So it turns on the lights above the screen, below the screen on the rock wall, above the posters that are indented into the wall sconces, and all 3 rows of seating. There's the 2nd row, the 3rd row. Oh, and there's that little popcorn machine. That's not with the lighting, but whatever. Yeah, so that's that. And now, even though, can't really see, even though I'm already in the first scene, I can just press up here, and it'll take me to my second scene. this is like a preview kind of lighting. It turns off the lights in the posters. It turns off the lights above and below the screen and just leaves the sconces on and lights above all 3 rows of seating. It's kind of nice because you can kind of just sit around, kind of casual, I guess. Turn everything on for a second here. Moving on to C. This is just to control those 6 main lights I was talking about earlier, the same as on and off from over there. It's good if I need to quickly like adjust something in the middle of a movie or something, just kind of handy, I guess. So by double tapping that, they all go off. Or again, I can just hold it down lightly and bring it up. So leave that on full. And okay, so these 3 at the bottom here, D, E, and F, these are all for the 3 rows of seating. So this is the first row, second row, and third rows. So they do the exact same thing as the switches on the wall. It's just easier and a lot nicer if you're like already reclined and relaxed and everything. So the first one here, this will start dimming the lights in the first row. Second row, and I'll do third row as well. And once again, like second row lights are off right now. I can just hold it lightly and then, well, not hold it lightly, but like hold it down for a bit and it'll slowly bring it up. And which kind of brings me to the next point here, this dim and bright buttons. Let's say I just controlled the third row. As you can see, the lights are off right there. Let's say I just, like I turn it up slightly like that, right? So it's on a little bit. I can use this dim and bright control to like slowly move through the different increments. As you can see, it's getting slightly brighter and dimmer. So that's what that's for. And at the bottom here we have all on and all off. So that's pretty much it for the lighting. Yeah, that's it for this lighting video, I guess, guys. If you want to see video on something else, I'm thinking about doing a demo video soon, just thinking about how to get like the mic and everything to get good quality audio for you guys. But that's it for today, so have a nice day.